And he's
Good
dead.
counting, Grant.
Thank you.
Well done, well done.
No, that was actually the fight that won him the game. Like single-handedly, they went from, I believe it was 11K lead, it went down to 7K, and the next time they took a fight, coL only had a 2K lead, and it goes a lot to like the PA having a battle fury. Like he actually farmed up so much instead of like the QO build of we're just gonna run at you, of Vlad's Deso kind of thing. He goes battle fury, he farms up, and the fact that he could do that, it worked.
I know you can't see it, but somewhere here, yeah, the draft has begun. So let's take a look at what's
Cap,
happening
you got
in
the
the
war
next
room
game.
or what?
See you, Grant.
Bye, Grant.
Yeah.
Got him.
Can I do the meteor? You find your heroes. I'm gonna give you my meteor hammer thing. So the thing is about that Furion, right?
Oh,
he was facing a Nyx assassin and a Furion.
Yes.
Or excuse me, and a Storm Spirit.
Yeah.
He was using the meteor hammer not just to be able to hit buildings. He was also using it to be able to split push better, which you wouldn't be able.
You could do the
No,
same with
you
the
can't
yes,
do
you
the
could.
same.
If you attack
You cannot
quicker,
do the same
yes.
with Shadowblade or Orchid.
How not?
Because you have to right-click the creep
How
wave.
no split push?
Because if you're just like all you can do at that point with that build is throw treants,
Okay.
and that's really
And an
slow.
ulti.
That's really slow.
And an
Being able
ulti that
to-
pushes three different lanes. I don't know.
Right. Meteor Hammer gives you a lot more opportunities to be able to quickly split push and be able to push down waves because all the other builds like require you to actually right click the creep wave, and he can't do that versus Storm and Nyx Assassin. So I fully back the Meteor Hammer. I think it's like the utility in the aspect that it's able to do multiple things for you. Now I think Meteor Hammer is a garbage item in like 99% of other
You're
scenarios,
welcome.
but I'll back Z Freak on that instance.
Yeah, just like you backed them on saying they're gonna win, and then
You know
they
what,
got
Grant?
handled.
You know what it what is? You know what that was? Is I just trusted you too much. You were singing Complexity's praises, and I was not sure about the Lone Druid, but you were like, Complexity's the best team ever.
Well,
They're going to 2-0 everybody. They're going to win this whole entire thing. And I said, all right, Grant, you're right.
And then I get the
called them
OpTic,
for
and you were
game
doomed.
2.
I don't know. It was, I mean, that's what I'm really in there. I'm really into seeing. You know, I watch a lot of games, Cap. So you know,
That's true,
no
that's true.
shame there. No, I don't know. Meteor Hammer's garbage. Like there's no excuse for it as an item. Like I like how they're experimenting with that item and not like A on disc, which could just be dank. Instead of like, let's get the
No,
single
Aeon
most
this is
useless
garbage item. And this is garbage.
What do you think that? I mean, Kaya seems right. People are saying Kaya was the worst new item, and now it's like
Yeah,
the
they were
only
all
one
idiots.
getting picked up.
Yo, I
Yeah.
called that item was like first thing I saw. I was like, Kaya's OP.
Oh, they're doing the same thing. They did the Kunkka Sand King again. So
Yep.
I'm not falling for it. You're going in the off lane, Sand King.
Yeah,
Looks like
it's
it.
been a Moose Sand King 2 times in a row. So
Make it 3. They could mix it up here now after the fear. What were some of the big bans? Sorry.
They banned Wyvern this time around. But
it?
Furion is banned by OpTic. So
Yep.
they took away 2 very key heroes, I would say.
Wait, am I crazy? Yeah, OpTic. Wait.
OpTic
game's
is on the
Radiant.
Radiant side, so the Rubik and the Storm are Radiant. Yes.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, both games so far, even though OpTic won that second game, the first 20 minutes is just complete domination by Complexity.
Yeah.
It's just the previous game, OpTic didn't drown in the high ground pushes, and were able to ward Complexity off until they themselves had a better chance of fighting. But that early game was just too much. So the Nature's Prophet getting banned out. I mean, I think we're going to see that for a lot of the games against Complexity today.
Let me-
Did you guys see a lot of Draw Ranger
Sorry.
picks or bans in EU?
No.
Drought, we saw a
That's-
couple picks and a couple like
Yeah.
last bans, but not. It wasn't over. It's the same as last patch. Like
Yeah, I felt like that was maybe some more NA flavor, but
No, I think we saw OG trying to go for a draw lineup, but it didn't work.
I think
don't-
if anyone, EG will probably be. I mean, they're mostly known the RTZ Drow.
Yeah, that's why
more
we
than
see. Well, we see them on Complexity ban right now, so
mean,
they're
that's-
expecting OpTic to go for it.
Yeah, I mean Rubik Storm, like 2 ranged heroes that already
Yeah.
have decent base damage. You secure Storm like a really good early game and it's over. Let's see, where's my girl Drow at? There you are.
Disruptor's not a bad fight position here. They don't want to take the line again, but I felt like the line was not bad.
He didn't go for a
Complexity.
Blink Dagger though. At least
Yeah,
not very early.
They're going, yeah, the Sand King didn't, Line didn't.
Yeah.
I am not a fan of that either. They definitely could itemize better. I mean, they saw what happened in the first game, but that game, like I believe Lumi said, without the Sand Cam and Blink, they had no catch on that
Yeah.
Storm in the early game.
They really didn't. They go for the Ancient Apparition.
Cool. Dire. So, gonna be roaming Rubik. We'll toss him actually over in the roaming section then.
Ancient
Definitely-
Apparition is on the Dire side.
with complexity with the Sand King.
I'm just, you know, I'm all over the place.
It's
right now.
okay. It's okay.
This war room really gets you. I'm having flashbacks.
It's all right, Grant. You're doing great. Keep it up.
Thanks.
Right. So for OpTic, selecting, securing another support, I guess, is the way to go here.
Yep, so it looks like 100%. I mean, it could be AA middle. We've seen it by like 2 teams now, but more than
Yeah.
likely double support. I mean, Kunkka AA, I wouldn't doubt. I mean, Void seems really good on complexity now. You have the massive AoE. You need a carry. And it's not bad for a Storm, right? One of the few carries that actually can lock him down if you're quick enough.
Dire team pick.
I actually really like
Ooh.
Oh. Is that a... Huh.
What do we make of this
Could
one?
be the core Enchantress.
I was... Yeah.
Could be.
Would you...
But they have a lot of magic damage, or they have a decent amount of magic damage on coL. Like Kunkka and Sand King as supports or cores or whatever they are, both have a
10 seconds
combination that
remaining.
brings Enchantress.
And
really
Misery
close.
likes Enchantress, right? But
Full to
that'd
zero.
mean a Peter
5
Rubik. I think that's
seconds
still what it's going to be, so... I think it's going to be OpTic and Ray, and we'll just toss them in the jungle here.
Oh, wait,
part
did you guys ever see core Enchantress in?
Yeah,
Radiant's
sometimes.
team
in EU?
Did we not?
We might have seen one at one time, I think.
Maybe
I mean,
I'm confused with the China games
Could
earlier
be.
before, because
it's
obviously,
yeah, it's an NA thing.
otherwise it would have been
Yeah.
previous patch.
Because it's definitely being run in NA quite a bit.
I mean, we even saw it, right? DC was running it middle during King's Cup to counter the
10
Viper. It
seconds
was like the
remaining.
one hero that countered the old Viper. But I mean, not anymore, so.
Look at that
5
classic
seconds
combination: Age
remaining.
Deprivation, Chaos Knight.
Is this going to be, you think this might be aggro cap or no? On complexity, just AA, or do you think I think they'll just safe lane it.
Yeah, just chill out with safe lane for
Alright.
now, and Kunkka's your big mover. I mean, because they could just, the thing is that they can run that mid against Storm Spirit as
Yeah.
well.
They could.
So I think you still need to flush out the lanes a little bit.
Do you like, I mean, they obviously won game 2 with the Storm first phase pick. How do you punish a Storm? It felt like they had a lot of stuns, but he still got farmed.
I think that Complexity's game plan was not meant to shut down the Storm Spirit. That's why they didn't go for those Blink Daggers. I think their game plan was more to play that 5-man style into ending the game early, which is just a different way to counter the Storm Spirit. Instead of directly targeting him and keeping him from getting farm, it's just shut down the game as fast as possible. But they
10
obviously had that
seconds
stumble about
remaining.
24 minutes when they were 10k up, and that kind of
5
game plan does
seconds
require you to
remaining.
play very precise when you go uphill.
And now we see Brew, so more than likely that will be their off laner now.
Yeah, with the Enchantress 4 position, really dangerous dual lane.
I think Misery plays a ton of Enchantress, so
Yeah.
smart. So now you're gonna look at what safe laner for OpTic and mid laner for complexity.
Yeah.
Or just another
10
core if they do
seconds
AACK
remaining.
middle. It's not terrible for a Storm early, that's for sure.
Well,
5
Complexity has banned out to
seconds
Sven, so they are worried about that one from OpTic.
Sven.
Yeah.
First Chaos Knight, yeah.
Chaos Knight. I think maybe, I don't know how good. Like, I'm not sure if they would want Sven, because again, it's a little bit too slow, even if it does match up well against Chaos Knight. I think it would fall into that Troll Magnus trap, where your lineup's just a bit too slow.
Feels like OpTics is a lot quicker. I mean, Brewmaster himself just makes a game quicker. You get that
Yeah.
level 6, you rotate. I mean, Storm. I feel Storm's one of the few heroes with Brew. Brew helps Storm out a lot because it's chaos when the pandas come out and your Storm won't get focused down. Maybe.
Yeah, and you're
That's
able
nice.
to take heroes out of the fight, and
Yeah.
the more fragmented an enemy team is, the easier it is for Storm Spirit to find those kills.
Fragmented, nice one.
Fragmented.
This
Wow.
This guy's a real
What
NA
a word.
English expert, a wordsmith as I call him.
Ooh, it's Omni Knight, but that means what's the core? Is it
What?
Omni Knight for OpTic
Like
Gaming?
Safe Lane Brew or something.
Yeah, it has to be safe lane, bro.
Correct me if I'm wrong then, but doesn't their
You're wrong.
lineup kind of have a timer on it then?
10
Because
seconds
late game,
remaining.
are they really that
Sorry.
strong with the heroes that they have?
Storm Spirit can
5
always win you late
seconds
game unless
remaining.
there's some big late game core on complexity.
And we might see the Radiance Echo Saber brew this game instead of the Broodling builds or whatever.
Yeah, because you can do a right click build on Brewmaster that's really strong with a new talent setup.
Okay.
And it's decent versus Chaos Knight. Like if they go on him, the evasion, super nice. I still don't. I'm not the biggest fan of this, but they know something we don't, and that's why they're playing.
So
That's if you are going for a brewmaster, that's a core. Then surely the Razor is good to have, as in right-click brew.
I thought maybe like Puck or something. Razor.
Well, that's why you're not paid to think.
That's true.
You're
I'm here to be slapped.
I was gonna say
tonight. I take OpTic.
Oh no, actually he's been on the thing where he doesn't want to get nerfed, so he says Omni Knight's Garbo.
Garbage hero, Omni Knight.
So you're going for complexity.
I actually, you know what? I really wanted to go with complexity because I like their draft a little better, but the fact that OpTic has some sort of plan that I don't see, I'm going to go with the more Illuminati, and I'm going to go with OpTic winning this 2-1, actually.
It is going to be pretty tough for Chaos Knight Razor to fight into a lineup that comes online pretty quick with a safe lane, what I think is safe lane brew, and an Omni Knight. It's pretty tough. I think I'm going to go OpTic as well.
Copycat.
I'm going to go for complexity.
Hey, I said the first one. You copied me on game 1.
So good. So good. I'll go for complexity. I think they have a plan that I understand better. I mean, that's the same reason why you go for...
Stuns are always good.
A lot of stuns.
They're going for the cold smash lineup, you know? They kind of...
they got
hammer!
All right, well,
We lost.
with that being said, let's find out what's going to happen. It's game 3. Who's going to the upper bracket and who will play again later today in the lower bracket? Let's find out with OdPixel and Luminous.
Thank you very much, Chiva. Yeah, we're coming around now to the final game of this first series of the day. OpTic Gaming versus Complexity. It's had its ups and downs for either side. We're coming into this third game. You said, sort of coming into this one, that you felt that the Complexity overall had just been the more solid team.
Yep.
Do you still stand by that? You think it's going to be more of a challenge for OpTic?
I think so, but I do agree with the panel that OpTic has the better draft. They ran the Kunkka Sand King once again, and as I pointed out, it's slightly greedy, and I think you get exploited. Let's see if OpTic will be able to do so.
Absolutely. We'll be able to get ourselves into the game momentarily. Looks like we're still loading in as it is, so apologies for that one.
Cap just standing right in front of the camera.
That's all right, Cap. But we should be starting. It looks like there's an issue with getting the players in as of now. But I'm looking forward to this one. We've had some pretty crazy games so far. I don't want to see another stomp. I don't think we'll see another stomp. You know, those sort of stomps, they sort of come around.
Do you consider last game to be a stomp?
No. Last game was not. Last game was sort of both around. We do have, apologies. We have a slight pause at the moment. Looks like one of the players has got some issues connecting. So hopefully we'll get in on that. But thank you for bearing with us. Hopefully you guys are enjoying sitting down, tuning in and watching some NA Dota from home. We've got a fabulous weekend ahead of us, and the game so far have been no exception.
Yep.
And I mean, sort of going back to the overall feel of this NA region, from what you've seen so far, would you still sort of pick Complexity as the hottest NA team at the moment out there?
Is it?
Because we've got coL, we've got EG, we've got DC, and we've got, of course, OpTic Gaming.
I think EG is like a dangerous dark horse that I like to pick because I've read a couple of RTZ interviews in the past, and one thing he always does for the team is that when a new patch comes out, he just spams a ton of pups. And he just finds like the crazy interactions or like crazy items. Maybe not Meteor Hammer, maybe like a Nullifier, Aeon Disc, whatever.
Yeah, we started to see a few cores pick up Nullifiers.
Yeah.
Nullifiers, in the right situation, it's a pretty devastating item.
It really is. Like the 2 times I've seen it in the games I was part of, like it just was the best item that you could have gotten. So... but back to the RTZ point, he's the one that spams a ton of pup games in the new patch, and he is able to find what he thinks are the new best strategies, new heroes, and then he kind of supply that information to the team, so his team is, I think, more or less well-equipped to come into a new patch, perhaps even better than those other teams out there. So, EG, of course, we know they're a good team.
We do. They've had some great records.
Rough patch, I guess, or not patch, but like rough start of the season.
Sure, yeah.
But I think there'll be a bit of.
I mean, it's not been a bad start. Like it's still, generally in comparison to other teams, it's still been good. But definitely for Evil Geniuses, there with the players that they have, that they aim for a lot higher. And
yeah, sure.
They're still working their way back up there. But less of EG, we'll be able to talk about them as they will be playing in the series right after this one. But we've got another game between these two to go through. It's OpTic Gaming versus Complexity, Game 3. And let's see what we've got going on. Of course, no surprises here. Complexity, they'll look for the first blood. They'll smoke up, I'm sure, and look to try and make a bit of a play into the jungle of OpTic. See if it's successful.
So the key thing I want to mention is that Z-Freak will be playing the Ancient Apparition, and coL once again on the Kunkka. And important because Z-Freak normally plays the 4. He normally farms a lot more item on his support. And AA is generally considered as a 5. Like between these two heroes, you normally see Kunkka as a 4. So I wonder if Z-Freak will be going for some sort of non-traditional AA items once again.
See, there are no surprises. The decent win rate, the pairing of CK and AA. So many different ways that these heroes synergize with each other. From the cold feet to the way that you can hold them in place, guarantee the proc. AA overall having that setup as well for Ice Blast if you get the good duration of a stun out with the Chaos Bolt. But they won't find that bit of action that they came hunting for. They do get the ward down around, just giving a little bit of the vision on the mid lane behind the tier 1 tower. They'll return to their lanes. We'll see what matchups we get. Mu will indeed be stunning down on the bottom lane. We'll see how much coL hangs around or if indeed he leaves him by himself. As will in fact be the CK being taken to the mid lane and the Razor being taken to the top lane. So with that in mind, is this just some better matchups for coL?
Very strong matchup. As we see here, a ton of pressure on the mid lane. Torrent's going to hit right on point as well.
That's your first blood limit.
That is. And he even ate his GG Branch Tango, so that's slightly a little bit more economic damage that it's done to CCNC.
Yeah, I mean, there I go. Sort of asking how good the matchups are. We just saw it then.
Yep.
It's a very scary lane for Storm Spirit early on. With that amount of catch and setup. When level 2's online for those two as well. Good luck as the Storm trying to lane without any sort of help that they're almost certainly going to have to send something in. But let's talk about this as well. On this bottom lane, Pycat playing the carry Omni Knight, Lumi. Misery actually will hold that fort, falling very low. Purification will buy him enough time to survive, but Pycat on this Omni. Yeah, what's the thought process here on Lumi?
Yeah, the panel expected the Brewmaster to be carrying.
Yeah.
And Brewmaster has a crit built in, so in theory, you would imagine him, playing quote-unquote better carry. But let's not forget that at level 15, Omni Knight has a pretty decent damage talent. You get plus 90 damage. And it's always a pretty meme pup build with things like phase boot, SNY kind of stuff. I don't think he'll go that route.
You don't think he'll go the phase? You think do you get like the Radiance?
Yeah, I think we're going to see some sort of Radiance, kind of a very tanky Omni Knight that you have to deal with.
I mean, he's giving me the rundown here, and I tell you what, it's going to do it. Pycat.
DGen Aura is the truth, man. It's
pretty crazy.
Yeah. And also because I feel like you get a lot out of what the Brewmaster give you, even as an off laner. Because it doesn't matter how much damage your Brewmaster does when he's split, right? And you generally pick Brewmaster for his ultimate. So I feel like this might be the better way to divide the farm between.
But still, always interesting to see a team take a very different sort of angle on the game, especially when there were definitely other more orthodox carries left in the pool.
Yep.
OpTic Gaming opting to get the Omni Knight over them all.
I really like the added synergy between having either a Chen or Enchantress with the Omni Knight, because one thing that you could do very well early game is send those. What I thought here, CCNC might go down here again.
I think he will, yeah, with this torrent. Surely the damage is going to be there, and indeed it is. Another pickup for coL in this mid lane. It's so spooky for this Storm Spirit. Anytime the Kunkka comes in range.
Shiver called it the classic dual lane, and the reason we see it right there is you're looking at 4 to 6 seconds of chain stun.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's nothing you can do about it. You just need another hero to be there. Limp. Centaur Stomp. It's about a timeout. Oh, this misses it anyways.
Limp actually turns and brings BPD very low there. Zyro makes sure the Limp's kept his distance. Out comes the Hadouken. coL does turn up.
Has another one.
He does, yeah. Limp's got to be careful. He's got the stick charges, though. Will be enough to bring him just high enough. They torn onto Zai.
Oh, Zai denies the big creep. That's a lot of experience taken away, so not too bad.
Good decent static link, though, and Zai will have to back off from this top lane. Once that damage stolen is there.
Right, so I was mentioning earlier, I really like the combo between Enchantress and Omni Knight, because what you could do early game is just wrap around with just a single Centaur. gank a lane. You get the stomp off, and then it also provides the heal bomb that you could throw on with the purification. We do see a lot of C teams run that strategy. I think Execration run it very well.
Bottom lane, Misery gets the grab onto Moo. He's going to have Burrow Strike back up in a second, so we'll be able to try and run away. Pycat looks to chase him down again with his degen aura. As we talked about, is pretty damn strong for running down heroes. They will turn, they'll get the kill. Pycat should... Oh, he's not going to be fine. Cold Feet kicks on. That must have kicked in just on the edge of the range there. Looked like he was going to get away in time, but he did not. Nice return kill there from Z-Freak turning up and managing to punish Pycat for his aggression. But as we can see, look at this in the mid lane, Lumi. CCNC, he has no intention of going back there. He's just headed to the jungle. Top. Selling onto Zai, kyle. Looking for the control required. There's going to be a lot of damage stolen, and Zai is going to make a smart play. As soon as that disable's already been expended, he'll TP out of the lane. Make sure that coL can't give him the rundown and get that kill.
I wonder if Moo will skip his blink again this game. I feel like this game...
bet he, I reckon he will, you know.
I think he has to get blinked this
you
game.
Think, I mean, they've got the Kunkka though this time. They do have that range, you know, that range sort of setup.
Okay, so that's definitely not true where he's the only stun.
Sure.
What I mean by that is he's the only stun that you can reliably work against the Storm Spirit. Like in the mid game, X doesn't really work that well because you could just time it and zip out of it. And then same thing with the Chaos Bolt. CCNC checked right now by both the Observer Ward and Moo, but he needs one more to actually set up his kill. That will be one more.
Z-Freak's in the neighborhood. CCNC will be taken down, and also to rub salt into the wounds, Moo managed to get the final touch onto the Centaur, so lots of gold there for Complexity. Up top, Kyle looking for the setup onto Zai. As we saw before, it's hard with the amount of evasion and mischance. See if they can actually do this. A lot of damage stolen. As long as he can get it through, they should get the kill. Kyle looked for the block off, but the Drunken Haze on Limb is enough to keep Zai safe. A very slippery hero with that amount of mischance and evasion being thrown about very early on in the laning stage. Now, the reaction, Misery comes through. Telekinesis onto Limp, dragging him back into the clutches of PPD. PPD will find the kill. They'll look towards Kyle as well. The three of OpTic punishing Complexity as hard as they possibly can. The slows out onto Kyle. He'll look to turn with a Torrent, but they duke it out. Turn back in with a Fade Bolt from Misery, and OpTic slap Complexity down on the top lane.
Man, it's so crazy, Brewmaster, how tanky he is. He just tanked the full duration of a static link, and...
they couldn't hit him.
Yeah. I mean, he got pretty low, and that just baited the Razor in even further. One straight. Not level 6 yet.
Why is CCNC in there? Why is he there?
That's a good question.
What the hell was he doing up? What? I'm really confused by that. I don't know what he was doing up. Why was he in the top lane by the side shot?
Oh, it's gonna be close. Repel blocks it.
Z-Freak does manage to find River. Yes, Moo should be able to
very
get
careful. Oh, okay. Verification gets used, and now Moo
just
burrows him to death. Burrow Strike will hit through the trees.
Oh, he popped a salve as well, I think, didn't he, Pycat? And that's why I receive him. I mean, either way, he's dead.
Yeah.
Moo gets the kill.
Also, Z-Freak got a kill up top as well before that. So.
All right, a couple of big ones for for Complexity. 7 for 4. Oh, and CCNC, he's having it. He's the second lowest on net worth.
I mean, his career got ended last game, so I'm not even really.
This is retirement, CCNC. Mid lane, Coffee will proc. Chessie has to get himself away. Falling low, they got the quick X mark to make sure the Zai is held back. Misery, let's see if he can get the second Fade Bolt off to finish Chessie. Unable to quite close the gap. Look for the turret. Zai, juke it out. Got the setup. PPD with the wraparound. Hey, well, that's going to do the job. Purification from Pycat. They get Kyle. Z-Freak has to be careful. Moo's going to come around with the rotation. He has got the epicenter. He's building it up. PPD's got to be careful. He's healing. Is he going to be able to save? Oh, no! What? Chessie pulled PPD in. It made him dodge the Burrow Strike and also somehow ended up with PPD positioned on the high ground. And now PPD just turns back in. He's going to look towards Z-Freak. And I tell you what, with that Centaur, he's going to get the kill. Oh, dear. Not the combo that coL were looking for there as it falls apart. and OpTic get away with murder, and PPD gets out of there.
That is some true...
I've never seen that before.
That's some blessing from Ice Rock, right? You need your man, you need your name on the Aegis to pull that play off.
What? That rift just saving PPD's life.
Oh my goodness.
Oh goodness.
I would be on till after that.
Yeah.
I hope Complexly isn't. Misery getting his early level 6. He got a very early level 6 as well last game. Given how poorly overall OpTic has been playing the early game. He's been one that's doing quite well.
Not so.
Pycat on the bottom lane, Soul Ring into the face boot. It's going to be the build. He's level 7 on Moo, so he's feeling pretty confident to man up 1v1 against Pycat. Very hard for Pycat to get that man the rundown, even with the 2 points in Degen Aura, with the low cooldown on Burrow Striker, so it's getting him away. They'll look for an opening. I do try for the blind torrent. It's pretty much the only way they could get it. As, yeah, it's got the point and repel.
Yep.
Ready to pop.
One thing I haven't mentioned so far is that the last pick Omni Knight is also super good against the Kunko.
Sure.
You know, we've seen so much.
We'll see this again.
Yeah, okay.
Watch this riff from Chessie. I mean, bam, somehow.
I think because there's a tree right.
I get so they.
Yeah, right where PPD would
it
have
looks
been.
so
to.
weird because he kind of gets sent off to the right. We'll see it. Let's watch it again.
Yeah, he would have got rifted right onto that.
It's like right,
tree.
yeah, right onto sort of the tip of the cliff, and that forces him up.
Yeah.
PPD pulling off the hack.
Z-Freak looking for his level 6. Level 6 would be really good pairing as a tanking, but Pycat also pretty good at blocking most of that damage with the repel.
Sort of based it as well. Knows that Car's unlikely to try for the combo with the repel, but I tell you what, Pycat could still be in trouble. A good static link from Limp. It's going to build up the physical. Pycat, he'll continue to run. A lot of damage stolen. That's the clean 224 up for Limp. The Burrow Strike's going to move. They've got the lockdown. And Omni Carry is going to have to take a hard sit down as he's out for 25.
I didn't see whether his teleport scroll was on cooldown there or not. At the beginning of the fight, he could have repelled TP'd, and I think he would have been fine.
Yeah,
but
that's true. So there we have it. So the first time, Pycat's debut on Omni Knight. And as we saw with Pycat's extensive career, quite the different heroes that he's played. They'll look for the opening onto Zai. Do they have the burst to bring him down before the Prowlers come out? They don't. They don't have quite enough damage. And now with Carl TP'd, he's fairly low. He's going to have the Rum coming through, covering them. So with that in mind, can he actually survive? Impetus, it's enough damage. He's just stuck in the tree line. Zai will back away, so OpTic Gaming get the kill, get out. Complexity not with enough damage to bring him down before Prowler. In fact, Z-Freak, he tries to TP out, but Misery's in with the stolen Burrow Strike. OpTic, they're getting more out of this one. They get the double kill. PPD a little low on the mana. But Moo should be fine to walk this one off, but still, good play from OpTic. They come to the top lane, they make it their own.
Normally, PPD is known for his ability to captain and lead his team, but I mean, look at this game. This game, he's actually like making huge plays.
He's leading the charge.
I mean, he's playing Enchantress, which is a hero that you definitely can make those plays on. But because of his plays, he's really putting his team in an early game lead, which is important to say. This is the first time we've seen it in this series. 3 games now.
Yeah.
It was always Complexly leading the early game, and now, granted, OpTic doesn't exactly have the best scaling hero. As mentioned, Brewmaster and Omni Knight aren't exactly known for their late game prowess, but Storm definitely is. Storm definitely could hold the do everything in the late game, especially once he has a repel on him.
And CC he is recovering very nicely. He got taken down 4 times in the laning stage, but he's now back top of the net worth for his own team, and he's shortly going to be closing the gap to Complexity. Zai jumps forward, looks for the clap, does manage to get the slow onto Z-Freak. Z-Freak getting bursted down by the purification. Chester's going to try and fight up in response. Phantasm drags in Misery. They've got Limbs charging forward as well. CC zips. TP's out, he'll be fine. The same can't be said though for PPD as the X mark comes out from Kyle. Chesty gets the double kill with the first big use of the Phantasm, and with the ult still up as well as the push from the rest of the side, they can move in onto this tier 1 tower. Fortification comes through. With a good duration of the Phantasm still there, they should have a good shot of finding this tier 1. We'll see if OpTic try and come in with a defense. They're heading forward. TPs are coming in, so they're going to do their best to push coL back, and Complexity will respect that. With the ults expended, they'll let the tier 1 be, as OpTic Gaming keep it standing.
Although that looked pretty bad for OpTic there, and their best counterplay was in a fight, which is the Omni Knight ult. Omni Knight doesn't even have the ult right now.
It doesn't have its skill.
Once those kind of mid-game big team fight comes out, you could be sure that Omni Knight will be there, and a Great Guardian Angel pretty much makes the CK illusion useless. And then at that point, you could have the Enchantress taking one of the illusion. You know, you get a couple AoE spells on those, and you can, in theory, take care of the Chaos Knight. Of course, it comes down to what angle the CK comes in and things like that.
Zai, I'm watching the bottom lane. There's the blink. Armor split as well. They're bringing in Pycat back towards the bottom. Maybe seeing if they can get a chance to fight. But Moo and coL.
I wonder if Complexity is focusing too much of their attention onto Zai. I feel like killing the Storm and killing the Brewmaster, it comes down to whether he could change them right, from 100 down to 0. And Storm has less armor, less evasion, and less HP. I feel like he's the easier kill between the two. And Storm is also the more important kill, because I feel like Storm is going to be doing a majority of the lifting in the mid to late game, whereas Brewmaster pretty much got what he needs, which is the Blink Dagger. So I don't know if I agree with Complexity's decision to constantly gank Zai.
They really are going all out in that bottom lane. coL hiding, trying to get the X mark opening. Either of these heroes, but it's going to be hard with Pycat sitting there on the sideline with Propel available unless they can get the blind torrent off. Top lane, D3 out on his own. We're trying to find the Midas gold. He's not going to get it now as CCNC and PPD quick to make the jump. Take down the AA, bottom lane, Moo. Pro striking away.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
10-10 as it stands, but OpTic making, as I say, such a good recovery with CCNC. He did have a horrible start with the pressure that Complexity were putting on, but that's all been forgotten now at this stage. He's second highest in net worth. He's exactly where Storm would hope to be at 15 minutes.
In fact, I'm not sure what the answer is once you put the repel onto the Storm Spirit.
True.
Like, does Complexity have anything that deals with that?
Hard to say, but no. Through the match community, no.
Ooh, good, nice two-man burrows, right?
Very nice indeed from Moo. Sets up for the kill onto the Pycat carry. See if they can chase down more. Limp has the Eye of the Storm. He's looking towards Misery. The heal from PPD and a quick telekinesis. They'll be able to contain the Razor, hold him back, minimize their losses, but that is still a big one. Losing the Omni Knight, and that is their carry. And Pycat is not jumping ahead in farm. He is starting to slightly fall behind. And I say slightly, he's 2k behind the CK on the other side that he's going to be expected to carry up against as the game goes on. And as we said at the start, this hero, the Omni Knight, not the average carry by any means.
I don't think that's too big of a deal. If he was playing like on his game 1 Tro or the game 2 PA, I would be a lot more worried.
But it's an Omni Knight.
Yeah, and I feel like he does a lot, even with very little net worth. Like, pretty much he's picked for his repel and Guardian Angel top lane. coL, go down here, I think.
Yeah, CCC still got a decent amount of mana in the tank.
Yeah. Again, I think Storm is really going to be a true carry and a damage healer, and it's pretty much the drafting around CCNC and building a team around him to support him.
On the bottom, Zai is going to find Moo here. They have the telekinesis from Misery. They put the primal split. They should have enough control onto Moo. They do indeed. Boulders to the face, and Zai with the reaction. Quick to make the play. He's going to see if he can set up for more and catch anyone else out of this one. Got the vision onto Z3. Can't quite get the Wind Panda in range, though, as it seems. So, Lexi will get the rest of them out of there. But they're definitely, so far, seeming to set up to be the culmination of the series that we hope for. It's been a close early game between both sides, both building up power and presence.
I mean, coming into this best-of-3 series, I think a lot of us expected Complexity to win it, given how well they recently play in the events. But OpTic has really shown a lot of growth in this series in particular.
Absolutely.
They're doing a lot better every single game. And I think this game already, they have overtaken Complexity in terms of starting to outplay Complexity, expecting where they're coming in, and kind of going in the same trajectory in how this game's going. I think OpTic's going to take it.
Okay. I mean, for me, it feels like there's a lot of weight on CCNC because of the fact that Pycat is farming on the Omni Knight. You know, a lot of work is going to have to be done as the game goes on by the Storm Spirit. But so far, so good in terms of the way he's been picking himself back up, the way he's been carrying himself at this point. It is setting up to be a game where CCNC will perform on the Storm.
Yep.
And he has the means to do so, as you say, with the backup that he has, the lineup around him. It does set up very nicely for Storm to get the job done in the mid-game. Move very close to having the blink complete.
Yeah, I saw he killed up the drums earlier, which would be very good for the CK in terms of like, you know, running at people and running at towers, but it's really just not that type of game. Their game involves around how many times can you kill CCNC or the Omni Knight. And drums doesn't really help you do that, but blink does.
TP out from coL. Limp halfway, just over halfway through the SMY as he looks to tank up and add to the push that coL will look to pull off once sort of the next major item or so is picked up by Limp on the CK. Oh, sorry, Chessie on the CK. And Chessie at the moment, how's he doing? He's just finished the Echo Saber.
Going for a blink.
Okay,
yeah.
Bit of extra catch, which is needed, and definitely any sort of way that they can get to the back lines. And, you know, if they can take the Omni out at the start of a team fight, it's going to make things a whole world easier for Complexity in the 5v5s.
Yeah, not only can he do the blink stun play like you're mentioning, he could also pre-cast his Phantasm, leave his illusions behind, and then blink in reality, and then all of his illusions will also pop in. Like that, repel TP, no solution whatsoever.
We are, indeed, as you said earlier, seeing the power of that repel. Very, well, yeah, at this stage, pretty much nothing that coL can do. There'll be the point where there'll be enough physical on the CK, but that part is not quite here yet. coL hunting. Just seeing if he can get his hands on both of the rings. It's not going to be the case.
Complexity should definitely look to smoke up right now. They just picked up 2 of their blink. If they could get a big play, they could either take out Roshan or starting to get some towers. At this point in both the previous game, Complexity has gotten all tier 1s and have begun sieging the tier 2. This is definitely a very different
Misery made a bit of a risky play here. It does show himself. They're going to move in with 3. Misery's not getting out of that.
Yeah.
Thought he may have played a little safer there because they did scan up top. They knew that there was more behind those heroes, but come a step too close to the shop. So we saw Gabe move the vision. Bottom lane, Ice Blast connects. TP coming in from Moo. He has got the Blink Dagger. Won't quite be able to find the catch as OpTic Gaming, rightfully so, back up immediately after Ice Blast connects, knowing Complexity would to look for that sort of follow-up. But it is a close game indeed. 12-12, 21 minutes in. Sure, the 2 highest net worth is on Complexity. But we've seen how free of a game it could be for the Storm Spirit and the Repel. And once CCNC has the Bloodstone, which he is closing in on, he can start building up those charges. It could get a little crazy for coL to deal with. The X-Spark onto Zai. Combo timing this time around, not quite there for coL. Can't set up into the boat, and even if he did so, unlikely to have enough damage to bring that brew down before he could have ulted. Creeps being fed by PPD. Sending the bird in, gets taken down. Just to make the next play. Got a haste rune down bottom Complexity. They are starting to group up as 3. Maybe they can invade and catch someone out.
SDK has a haste rune, so definitely could follow up again for this tanking.
And they have got the completed SMY on there.
I'm not really too sure whether I'm going to feel the impact of this Razor. I don't think the static link in particular does too much of anything. I mean, it's going to be tricky, and I'll tell you what, the move, finding a perfect setup there with the Burrow Strike. GA comes out, Pycat trying to run himself away. Not going to make it. More than enough damage coming out from Complexity. A little bit sloppy, as they did sort of rift him out of the Ice Blast radius, but obviously with the Passover still there, it was enough to bring him down. Got the debuff on him, and he, I believe, just used Guardian Angel, so...
He did, yeah, pop GA on the way down there, so that is that big cooldown that Complexity can now look to try and abuse around, and in fact, they found a catch here, straight up. They managed to find Zai. Will he get the chance to get the ult out? He will, thanks to Misery coming in with the stolen Burrow Strike. Just the time for the Primal Split to be there. CCNC turning up into town now. They'll turn straight towards Chessie on the Chaos Knight, and they'll get the kill. Big pick off for OpTic Gaming.
Man, Misery's Burrow Strike steals and usage has been the reason why they're winning.
I was going to say, he has loved these games where he's playing up against the Sand King and he's a Rubik.
Right, apart from the stolen Burrow Strike, OpTic doesn't really have like good disables built into the hero. Sure, they have telekinesis or maybe an enchant from Enchantress, but
it's true.
Nothing compared to that Burrow Strike. And he's making huge plays.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
We'll go back and finish off the drums on move, so he's got that on top of the Blink Dagger.
So Z-Freak has queued up his Rod of Atos for the longest time, and then he decides to go back for the Hanamitis. I think I agree with this decision a little bit more. Yeah, sure, the Rod of Atos is going to be good against the Storm Spirit, and I have mentioned how many times that they definitely need more disable against the Storm Spirit. But his progression was so slow. He also didn't take his level 10 GPM talent. Normally, you take that as a position 5.
It's down bottom. They will get the blind. Torrent out. Have they got enough physical? They have not. Not with the Eye of the Storm. It's just not quite enough. So close, but Pycat gets himself away. It's little plays like this where Complexity aren't getting the big kills that their lineup requires at this stage of the game.
Ooh. OpTic thinks they could Roshan, and immediately Complexity reacts.
They're heading straight over there. They got Phantasm back up in 8 seconds.
All right, Omni Knight is the pick. If you pick Omni Knight before his Guardian comes out, I don't think Guardian is actually back up just yet. Anyways,
It isn't.
Yeah.
Still on cooldown as for now for Omni.
It's very dangerous for
And in
OpTic.
fact, look, he gets caught out on the sidelines. Moves straight there with the jump in. Jesse, looking for the Phantasm opportunity. He gets it off. He's got all the 3 extra illusions out. He looks towards Pycat with the repel. Pycat making it away for now.
He has Blink, keep that in mind.
And he's trying to get this catch off. He should be able to jump forward, and there we go. Jumps in, grabs Pycat, brings him back, and brings him down. Pycat gone. Zipping in more. CCNC zipping in, zipping out. He's out of mana. Does have to be careful on this Storm Spirit. Moon's going to come in with the jump. But look at this primal split from Zayas, just controlling Chessie perfectly on the back of it all. Chessie just can't get involved in the fight. CCNC has to kill himself. Uses the Bloodstone Suicide, gets out of the game. But overall, Complexity do indeed take the majority of the kills. They knock those Bloodstone charges down, forcing him to kill himself. They get Pycat, they get Misery, and Roshan still stands, sitting at just under half HP. Without the CK, Complexity themselves can't go in and grab it.
And that's the problem. I think Complexity, once CK respawn, he won't have Phantasm, but once OpTic's heroes respawn, they will have Guardian Angel back up. So I think OpTic could just go back in. Despite losing the fight here, they could just go back in and take the Roshan. I also think in that fight, there was a bit of miscommunication between CCNC and the rest of his team. I'm not sure why Storm jumped in and essentially...
It was a massive jump.
Yeah, traded his life for the CK.
Yeah.
I mean, Storm's the one with the Bloodstone charges, so I think that's not really a worthwhile trade for him.
Mid lane, Moo, again with the Burrow Strike setup. They've got the Ice Blast. As long as they can get a few right clicks, they could do it, but the GA comes through. Pycat keeps himself alive, and OpTic now with the response. Jump forward, Telekinesis drops Moo back into the Purification from Pycat.
Yep. The Radiance finish in that fight for Omni Knight is going to be huge. Not only is he going to right-click so much harder now, the evasion chance, of course, is going to stack up, and it's going to be pretty nice for the team. And not only that, there's 2 Blink Daggers on the side of Complexity, so he's going to be in the middle of the fight, going to be hard to kill, and he's going to be making the job of Complexity's heroes much harder. So with every item pickup, I feel like Complexity is falling slightly further behind. And I just don't know if CK is going to be enough to carry his team right now.
CK, he needs that BKB.
And this Razor pick, I don't know if this Razor is really
it's top of the farm, but as you say, you know, with Razor, it either goes one way or another. Either has this massive impact where he's pushing, they're fighting around him, and it's impossible for the opposition to do anything. But you have these games where, sure, he hits the creeps, but he turns up the fight and sort of get ignored. They do manage to find Zai, looking to try to get the Primal Split off, but a great torrent from the low ground. coL disables him. Zai can't get the Primal off. And as well, Misery caught out in the jungle of Complexity. Complexity, quick to find 2 very easy kills, and this will give a bit of an opportunity for them to head in the pit. CCNC is still alive. We'll see if they do any sort of cheeky play to try and steal it. I mean, CCNC has actually gone back to base, so he's not in the neighborhood for now. And with that in mind, I think Complexity, they will get away with this. Those 2 kills enough to buy space for coL to go into the pit, get themselves the Aegis, and OpTic Gaming don't have the chance to have a look in.
That's a huge break for the team. I think that was a very dangerous moment for Complexity. They're able to get essentially 2 free kills and the Roshan.
Yeah. Big stuff.
Really good stuff, yeah.
That's the BKB as well, finished for Razor. So we'll see how aggressive Lim plays and how they play as a team and a unit. So we've seen for sort of the last 8 minutes or so, it feels like it has just been the farm game for Complexity. Yet to really sort of group back up as in 5 and really try and push the issue. Tier 2 still standing, they're yet to look to take them. Whereas they themselves, they did lose that Tier 2 earlier in the top lane. Smoke up from OpTic. They're looking to try and aggressively fight into the Aegis, and always when these sort of smokes come out, it could be, it's a very sort of high-risk, high-reward play, as it could certainly catch Complexity off guard if they don't expect OpTic to make this sort of aggressive play. Whilst it is themselves that have the Aegis, but we'll see if they get caught out. At the moment, they're just elsewhere. They're miles away from the smoke movement from OpTic, and OpTic will not find the pickoff they were hoping for.
Yeah, Complexity lineup is really bad when they're being jumped on, as opposed to when they're actually doing the initiation. If you look at the lineup, heroes like Kunkka and AA, they're very good offensively, but let's say when CK gets jumped right now, Kunkka's spells are so delayed that by the time that you actually do cast them and they actually do connect, those heroes that are getting jumped could just be dead. Same thing with Z-Freak. I mean, Z-Freak has like no defensive capability at all. So it's always a good move for OpTic to just look for a smoke play even into the Aegis, simply because the backline of Complexity is so weak defensively.
That's a bit of a feels bound man for Z-Freak there, as he was having to hide in the tree line. Did he get to use his Midas yet? No, he's still there.
Give me a creep.
Use the Midas, Z-Freak. He's just not find the chance to do so. And big, I like this. 707, the item pickup for Brew. I mean, out of all the heroes, this is definitely one of the heroes that it absolutely makes sense on, giving, or pretty much the guaranteed chance to get off your Primal Split. It's so hard to sort of work around it and stop him from getting that ultimate off now, thanks to that 2 seconds of invulnerability.
Yeah, you really want it on heroes like Brewmaster, who his primary job is to get off the ultimate.
Yeah.
It kind of compares to like a Kraken Shell from Tai Hunter. The reason that makes Tai such a good initiator is that you know no matter what stuns and silences you throw at him, he is going to get off the ult, and it's just kind of the same idea here. It is a very, very expensive item, but let's not forget the other part of the item, which is, I think, the often overlooked part, which is the status resistant part.
Yeah, absolutely.
He has a lot of strength to begin with, Brewmaster.
It adds up.
Yeah, it adds up a lot, and he's going to shake off a lot of that disables much quicker compared to most like normal heroes.
I mean, there's like no reason for Zai not to get the ults out each and every time. Every team fight, we will see those 3 bears come out.
Yeah, and that's a big problem. Like I think Complexity already has enough issues to deal with, like catching the storm, and now we're going to see that wraparound coming up from the north side.
Yeah, this could really catch Complexity off guard. I don't know if Limp's going to be prepared for this one. He does have the BKB, so actually blinks in, run up to the back lines, goes to the Primal Split. BKB comes out from Limp, but straight away the static link is broken. PPD forces himself away. Moo coming in with the burrow stroke on the sidelines, but CCSC zips out at the ultimate. He's not going to be hit by the boat, comes back in, trying to look for coL. The coL has the roam on him, a lot of damage reduction, keeping this Kunkka alive. And now with the burrow strike, Ice Blast perfectly on target by Z-Freak as he lands it on PPD and Pycat. OpTic lose 2, despite themselves trying to force the issue, and now coL, they're moving for more. Sure, he had the Eon Disc, but Zai, he's already used the ultimate. He gets X-Mark back into the hands of coL. Chesney brings him in with a Rift, grabs the double kill, and now OpTic, they're 3 men down, 3 men without buyback, and Complexity, they're into the base.
Man, that was a very sloppy team fight for both sides here. Oh, okay, good. Taking the Aegis. We saw Limp missing the Link, we saw coL missing the bow, but the fact of the matter is, their heroes are just super tanky, and Stormster at this point in the game isn't doing enough damage by himself. If you look at without the lineup without the Storm, who else is actually doing the damage?
I mean, that's the thing, and any time that Pycat doesn't have to repel on himself, Moo is instantly in with a Burrow Strike setup.
And there's no Guardian Angel in that team fight, that's also the big critical thing. Like,
he
CK
doesn't
just
get out of spell, Pycat.
ripped everyone apart. Pycat, I think, is the most important hero in terms of defensive capability on the lineup, and he cannot get caught up.
Radiant's bottom shrine is under attack.
Even to the point where you sort of wonder, should we see an Eon Disc on him? Even though I know it's not really the dream item when you are the position 1 carry. You need so much other stuff. What is he building on now at the moment? You know, look at Pyke.
Lincoln Sphere, great choice.
I mean, that does offer him, again, that sort of defensive potential to get the chance.
I mean,
to get a spell off.
Between Aeon Disc and Lincoln Sphere, you can make the argument that Aeon Disc might be better, because it's
true.
Very similar to the Brewmaster, he needs to get off the critical 1 to 2 spells, right?
And sometimes the limitation on it being built on like your position 1 is obviously the fact that during those 2 seconds you don't actually deal any damage yourself.
But he doesn't care.
Exactly, you're an Omni Knight. You're fine with having those 2 seconds as long as you get the chance to get the GA or the repel out. So.
But that Radiance damage though.
I mean, it does add up. Especially if in the midst of 5 heroes. Interesting development for this game. 20-15. That clean fight for Complexity, pulling them to an 8k gold lead. They're sitting a racks ahead of OpTic Gaming.
With these 2 lineup, you could basically just look at your watch and judge who's going to win the team fight based on how long the team fight is. OpTic could only win the team fight if it goes like, 20, 30 seconds, because that's kind of how they were built with the Brewmaster split, with the Omni Knight stuff. But that team fight was like 5-6 seconds. That Ice Blast connecting on 2, CK coming in.
Yeah, they just can't. They can't deal with having 2 heroes just getting blown up straight away by the Sand King AA combo. The complexity are performing absolutely excellently. And also, as we said, that fight as well, the defensive capability of the Kunka's run, something never to be forgotten. It makes it very hard for OpTic to actually get those kills.
The bow actually hit nobody offensively, but the rum, I think, got applied on at least over half of the team.
Absolutely. OpTic still not to be knocked down. They're moving up aggressively on that top half of the map. Limp is on the hunt. Let's see if he can get vision onto anyone. No real catch himself, but we'll see Misery TPing out. See Zai. So, of course, TP straight away. Managed to get himself out of there. No harm at all.
I'm definitely no Razor player, so I've been definitely crushing the Razor pick so far, but looking at how the game goes, he does a surprising large amount of damage.
And he's farming it.
I mean, granted, he's like the highest net worth by a mile, but his passive has been, like, he's just running in the team fights. When he's next to the creep wave or enchantress creeps, it doesn't look that impressive, but in that instance where he's just punching the Brewmaster.
Yep.
I mean,
that passive damage adds up.
Yeah.
It is, as you say, it's a bit of a downside, in this sort of chaos of the fights, that there is no control of where that proc goes, and half the time it is a creep tanking it, as it does not prioritize the heroes.
I'm like going for a...
Okay. I mean, again, this means he can stay even further back, and he shouldn't be caught out.
I mean, another alternative to that is the Aghanim Scepter, but of course, Aghanim Scepter only casts your ult, and if you need to put a Power Storm or Pio or something like that.
And he does want to at least have a little potential to be aggressive, as you say, with the Radiant team. He does want to sit sort of in the midst of the fight, but he doesn't want to get jumped on. Jesse, gold in the bank for the Reaver. And OpTic, they are going to start to push complexity back. They've got a push coming in this bottom lane. Ult's ready to go. Primal Split and GA are there. Got Pycat and actually back up. Head up towards the top lane. And hey, he's going for it. We talked about it, Lumi. After the blink, he has indeed. He's queued up that Eon Disc on Omni. Now, I like it. I think we sort of talked about it. And as you said, there's definitely the benefit for it over the Linken's for this game.
Yeah. The bigger concern is that as he's getting more and more defensive item, and so is the Brewmaster, who is going to be lifting the damage?
As we said earlier,
Storm Spirit,
CNC, it's all the Storm. He's got to do the damage.
I mean, he needs the bigger mana pool and more items to do all of that. I don't know. I don't know if it's enough.
Definitely, the issue definitely is damage output.
I also wonder what his level 25 talent would be. There's definitely a very interesting discussion amongst us casters, like, is it going to be his?
I think even as memey as the
Remnant?
The Remnant stuff.
The Remnant gives you more damage. Well, I guess so does the Overload.
But so does, going for the immunity. I mean...
But who's actually buying immunity right now?
Wait, dude, you're against...
BKB on the Razor, I guess that's the only one.
No, they've got it on the CK as well.
Okay. But did you see that that clip on Reddit?
But
where you could level up
as was said, you have to do it while stiffing. If CCSC does that in this game, I'll be mind blown. But I don't think we're seeing him pull that one off.
Yeah. I guess the Overload just makes more sense, given that there's 2 BKB.
I think just overall, there's just many more situations where that is going to come in use. And not just this game, I mean, most games, if you're playing a Storm Spirit, the enemy's going to be picking up BKBs if they know what's what. Now, I'm interested as well that, I mean, as it's both, I mean, we're talking about the lack of offensive potential. Both Pycat and CCNC, they're both in Shiva's guards. I mean, do you feel it's really necessary that they both buy one?
Maybe the way that OpTic is looking at this team fight is, look, we're not going to burst anybody down. We're going to just have to outlast them. But
even if they outlast them, are they actually going to kill anyone at the end of the day?
I mean, I think you start off the team fight by killing heroes like the Kyle Kunkka, the Z-Freak, Ancient Apparition.
Sure. It just looks so hard from this.
Yeah.
It really does.
I'm just wondering where the damage is coming in.
It is a big
here comes this push. What do you do against this? Aghanim Scepter.
Well, we try.
Yeah. They could... Is there... I think Rubik I saw was building up a Yule Scepter. So the next time they could do this, they could pick up Limp up in the air.
Okay, to get the timing right, then we'll jump forward, Limp. Let's get brought back there. There is a lot of ifs and question marks on the way that OpTic can play this game from from now being behind. I mean, I suppose Shiva's Guard, it certainly offers offensive potential for the Storm in terms of the mana pool and the abilities to zip around a little bit more, but
also gives you the vision, which is pretty important when certain heroes are hiding in a tree line and stuff like that. We saw the previous engagement. Brewmaster, remember, he smoked up from the south and blinked in and actually clapped nobody because he didn't have vision on the back line of Complexity.
Haste room for Limp. OpTic are looking to fight, but a hasted Razor will quite happily take the opportunity to do so unless they lose someone at the start. Jesse quick with a blink. As soon as he spots BPD, Lim pots the BKB and he knows, yeah, he's got a haste rune for it. Now it's going to wear out, but he'll still head to the center of the fight, forcing PyCat back. You are going to see CCSC trying to pick off Seafreak. Seafreak forces it away, finally goes down. CCSC does get the kill, cost him quite a bit of mana though. Primal Split comes through, Grom's died, but he's lost the Earth Panda. He's going to die during the split. They lost PyCat, double kill for Lim. CCSC's trying to fight up against it, but CCSC's out of mana. He's got to get out of there. As coL, they're looking to chase, they'll pop the drum charge. Moose on the hunt, he'll jump forward with the Shiva's Guard. They've got the vision, force forward with the Burrow Strike. Moose gonna find an epicenter as well. CCNC, he's got to kill himself, he really has, and there we have it.
Well, we got to use a couple of buybacks if we're looking to defend. The bolt just flies somewhere.
Yeah, having to commit suicide with the Bloodstone and buying back. This is not where CCNC wants to be.
Oh, no.
They've got the Burrow Strike, they've got the damage.
That's
They're
GG.
gonna lose CCNC off the buyback. What the heck is going on? I think so many question marks for the draft and the items at this stage for OpTic's lineup. What was the plan? It didn't seem like there was ever going to be any. They just don't do any damage. They run in. I mean, it is a carry Omni Knight, so there was sort of question marks from minute one what the plan was this game. But it fell apart, and Complexity at this stage looked to be taking an easy stroll to winning the series and knocking OpTic Gaming down to the lower bracket.
I'm going to see the X back on Lim, so he's right back in the fight. Pretty good HP. Omni Knight blinks in.
Oh, here comes the carry Omni.
There he goes.
There he goes.
And there you got the control on the Brewmaster. Brewmaster looks like he's going to get hit by the boat. That's going to be another kill.
Got to be careful, Complexity. That's the carry Omni Knight they're looking at. Oh, he nearly had it then. But no, with that, it's game over for sure. There's 3 dead. GG is called. This game is over and done. Complexity take the victory 2-1. OpTic Gaming, we will see them again, but they'll be down in the lower bracket, playing in the 3rd and final series of today. So they have a series to prepare for it.
I think maybe they were looking for more damage coming out from the Enchantress with the impetus. Maybe
maybe, but like, PPD, he didn't have. He had a herd.
He had a good early
game.
Yeah,
it feels like they're trying stuff, and sometimes it just is.
Maybe the problem was they had both Brood and Omni Knight. I think if they had those individual pieces separately with a higher damage core on the other lane, it would have been fine. But the fact that they had both, it was